Yo guys, I've got a spark which I'm going to use to ignite the fire for another episode of Skylanders Track Team Soul Seeker Series 7 channel. I almost said Trapmaster Nightmare Out Francais edition for a moment there, given that that is currently the series that's utmost on my mind because I only just finished that one, well, before recording this one. Well, dare I want to shoot trolls, what else would I want to be doing right now? Man, this takes me back though. I have lots of nostalgic memories behind this game, mostly because when I originally bought it for the PlayStation 3. But unfortunately, my PlayStation 3, well, my dad wanted one, so he rushed into a purchase, and he took £40 from me, which I've been saving up for ages now, and it's a shame because it made me miss out on special offers my local game had on Skylanders Sport Force figurines. Like I could get 3 for 2, so it was £30 for 3 swappers, which was a great deal. But despite all that, my dad rushed into getting a PS3 that was £80 on eBay. It was as cheap as that for a good reason. Turns out the console was on its last legs, and it wasn't faulty when we bought it, but it did start to get faulty by the time Trap Team came out. So obviously I had Trap Team on the PlayStation 3, but no way of playing it, as the console would basically randomly turn off after I got about 5 minutes into the game. And I remember specifically buying Jawbreaker, the very same Jawbreaker you actually see before you, and trying to play this level, but every single time I booted it up, obviously, I would get through this turret section and then the console would just turn off. And every single time I would turn it back on, play through this section, and it got so annoying and tedious after a while. That was when we realised that the PlayStation 3 is absolutely kaput and I'll have to get this on a new system. Luckily, that same Christmas, my cousin got the game on Wii. Meanwhile, I got a Wii U. Turns out in the Wii starter pack of Skylanders Trap Team, they gave you a download code to download the entire game on Wii U. So I used the download code, it downloaded the game on my newly acquired Wii U, and it took up about half of the memory, and it took about 25 hours to download. But in the end, totally worth it. I was even able to use the portal I got from the PlayStation 3 starter pack, making the PlayStation 3 starter pack worth the purchase, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to play it on Wii U. And from there I was able to play Trap Team again. It's what makes this one of my most nostalgic games. Okay, this is really annoying because audio for me is only coming through one part of my headset. Normally it's fine when I have loud volumes on my headset, but I can't have it too loud so I can actually hear myself speak whilst I commentate. And having it any louder than this would make that much harder for me. But unfortunately when the volume is this low, like I say, I'm only hearing audio through one ear right now, and it's beyond a nuisance. Anyway, we're not too bothered about 100% for now. For now, we're just going to speed through and get a couple of things, like we're going to get the legendary treasure here. We're going to get Chopper's soul gem, obviously. I can't swap out with fire just yet because I don't have a single one of those souls having been seeked out for the moment being. We got Wildfire in Chapter 8, Torch in Chapter 9, Trailblazer much later, I believe, and then Kaboom is the very last soul gem we will be seeking out. So they really did leave the fire souls for the very last few levels to be seeked out. And now we have a legendary pepper chest, don't mind if we do, though unfortunately for gold and the treasure we're getting from that there said legendary treasure, it's kind of going to waste given how maxed out Jawbreaker is right now. Massive shame indeed. Let's be jumping over the shish kebabs. Shish, I tell you. So down we pop and let's be opening some puzzles. Oh, we even got the water! Oh, gotta love yourself some water. Man, my controller's rumbling like crazy. Crazy, I'll tell you, it's crazy controller is what it is. Anyway, more fire elements for us to have to deal with, as well as, like I said earlier, villain quests. I just got some which of my 2 life traps in front of me is Broccoli Guy. Let's skip over Deep Stew and put in the toucan trap. I'm pretty sure this one was Broccoli Guy, because obviously I put these 2 in the traps before beginning the level, and I was correct in the fact that the live toucan had the Broccoli Guy. Oh, I really wish I could skip over all this unnecessary Deep Stew right now, but I can't, and it's totally unnecessary Deep Stew too, like... Look at the stew. It's deep and it's unnecessary. It is the peak and the pinnacle of unnecessary deep stew right now. You look up the dictionary definition of unnecessary deep stew. This is kind of like the sequence of screenshots you're shown. Sequence of screenshots that if you flicker through the pages of a paper book dictionary, a very thick dictionary too, there's thousands of pages of words. But say, you know, the screenshot will just create a smooth frame rate of this this broccoli guy in unnecessary deep stew situation. Anyway, what we're going to do here is we're not going to let broccoli guy ramble on, and we're instead going to take him out of the trap slot. I'm going to be super duper now up right here, right now, yeah. And we're going to finish things off with, obviously, first of all, a villain introductory cutscene. Yes, Bombshell, whose magic, purely because they probably couldn't think of any more magic villains and they only had 2 other ones, so they clearly needed another one. Anyway, there is a very soul gem I've been alluding to, and man, it is glorious. So, are we going to preview the ultimate dino destruction? Well, of course we are. Yeah, that's what dino destruction looks like, alright. Chopper, bit of a beast. Totally from the Horizon games as well. Though for Horizon games, the first one didn't even come out till 3 years after this. So clearly it's Horizon is a copycat, because you know what, they had dinosaurs and robots combined. That's what Chopper is. He's a combination of the two. There is a completely different style, but still it's a clear-cut copycat. I mean, I could use that turret to destroy it, but I really can't be arsed much. It's not like we even need the bomb, because that wall hiding our treasure chest away from us, well, that can be destroyed with the might of a Chompy Mage's villain quest. We'll worry about that when we get to it. What we have to worry about in this instance is the villain element popping up, so this is where our darkness falls. For the night of blackout before you. Yeah, you guys are definitely about to be as good as dead. You see, what did I tell you? What did I tell you? Destruction! We definitely don't want to use our tertiary ability here, because if we make one of these enemies invincible, you can kiss goodbye to pass that gate right there. Bye-bye, fellas! Wow, I'm at both a noise number and very close to 700 number. You know, the point is the health bar is pretty perfect this way. 699, very nice number indeed. Yeah, get wrecked, sonny boy. Oh wow, you really did. I mean, you didn't have to. Obviously, you don't need to listen to everything I say, but in certain instances, it would appear that the enemies do listen, as rare as it is, and this was one of those said rare cases. Cool, we're going to get him out of here. We're going to grab ourselves some food along the way, and then we're going to be activating Chompy Mage's villain quest. Yeah, that was great. Let's be placing into the trap the life sword. Turns out this life sword trap didn't have a Chompy Mage trapped inside it that was evolved yet, so all of that is about to change as we bring about an unnecessary deep stew that is completely unskippable. I cannot push the best with the video game, it's rather unfortunate. But for cutscene on the other hand, not so much. The cutscene is pretty fun, if you were to ask me. Boom! And he's evolved, like. Plus, I love his evolved colours, so that is obviously a big hand. Anyway, back to Blackout we go. I wanted to jump over that guy, but his ponytail was too glorious, so the game didn't let me. Anyway, we're gonna... Well, I was going to say we're going to leave Chompy Mage in for trap. We might as well take him out now before I accidentally tag into him in the midst of combat and breaks the rules. We'll come back to him should we find a villain stash, but I can't remember where that is in this level. I feel like it might have been back before, where obviously there was a wall to destroy to the right, but obviously we bypassed all that. I feel like it certainly could have been there, but like I said, I can't remember exactly where it is. Maybe it was behind an elemental gate. Say, have much certainty, I do not. But I am certain in one thing, the fact that I can mash potatoes for hell on that lock on the treasure chest. And now all of this gold, glorious gold, well, is mine. All mine. Oh boy, do I love Miss and Treasure and see Gold and see Silver and the random horseshoe for some reason, which is definitely more valuable than 25 treasure points, but apparently the game would say so otherwise. And I'm afraid that, as always, whatever the game says goes. Ooh, cheese graters. Cheese graters. Yeah, grate me some of that cheese. I love me some cheese. Not only in terms of deliciousness and taste, but also when you get to cheese this game, you get to do ridiculously overpowered stuff and destroy enemies in ways that are definitely unintended by the developers, and yet you do it anyway. That's exactly what cheese means. Doing something an unintended way to great prevail. I am doing great. I would be doing it even better if I could push the best button in video games to skip over all this unnecessary deep stew right now. But that seems to be asking for too much now, doesn't it? How very unfortunate. We're going to leave that food for later in case Blackout gets hit during this magic segment where we have no soul that's been seeked out to correspond to said magic element as of just yet. Yeah, this fool's so down and out of here. Love the fact that you get powered up in this guy's black holes. Death. Anyone in these pools, they are dead. Therefore, these are dead pools. Again, I had to reference the Ha Ha funny Ryan Reynolds movie. See ya! Okay, now let's get up and... Oh, I was about to say get up and out and Adam, but apparently I wasn't nearly charged up enough for that. Why would I do one of those hole thingies? I ran the risk of making one of the enemies invincible there, and that is the last thing we need. Anyway, we've already met the enemy goals. That is fantastic. Gotta love ourselves a good bit of that. And now this fool's going down too while we're at it. Oh, hell to the yeah, man. Die. That's not what death looks like. There you go, that's more like it. Now he's within my dead pools. More dead pools for you. Really should have got out of the way of that bomb, but, you know, apparently I just didn't feel like it. Anyway, let us actually initiate our overpowered mode this time. Yeah, we got it charged successfully. And look at that! We can take no damage. He's been damaged by us and himself. What an idiot! Haha, pools of death, so much pools of death. Well, I really need to move out of the way before I'm one who becomes the idiot. Man, this guy is not very effective against one-shot boss fights, is he? We're getting there slowly but surely. By slowly but surely, I mean we're already there. What an awesome display of skill from yours truly. I will be arrogant about this till the day I die, even if what I say isn't remotely true. So we got ourselves a bounty. Nice. Got ourselves a new Skystone. Also nice. And now I run. I run! Oh wait, we'll grab the key on the way back up. Obviously we need to get the bomb and super bounce back up to blow up the wall and gain access to another treasure chest. Wow, we are not doing this very as quickly as I would have liked, but here we are with, obviously we'll hit the bounce pad and then swap out for Gusto. We will. I reckon Gusto could one-shot Ship Pepper Jack on hard. If this was Nightmare, I'd have pain doing it, but hard is a completely different ordeal. Hopefully that little less health he has, I was about to say by not being level 20 won't be a problem. He is level 20, so you wait, I'll be left at 30 health, and obviously that 30 health would have showcased that this level up between level 19 to level 20 made all the difference, because he's already fully upgraded. The only difference a different level would have made would obviously have been his maximum health going into a fight. Anyway, we got ourselves some chicken as well as a treasure chest for a character who actually needs the treasure. So this is definitely, once again, the peak of the pinnacle of glory. Yeah, with all this treasure, we definitely do not mind. If we do, we do not mind. If we do, yeah. Okay, so let's pop back on outside. That's the way we love to see it is. And let's not forget the key on the way back down, because otherwise it's kind of hard to open doors without the keys that unlock their locks. They're pretty locked otherwise. That is how lock and keys work, a bit similar to the biology theory, where only certain shaped substrates can obviously break down specific substances. Like when you consume food, carbohydrates can only be broken down by carbohydrates, as they have a specific shaped active site for the carbohydrates to fit into and by extent be broken down and absorbed by the bloodstream. The human body is just a fascinating thing. It will fight to its last breath to keep you alive. It is unbelievably resilient, and you know, every intricate part of our bodies are designed to have instincts that keep us alive, pretty much. Fight or flight is the most basic one. Every animal has it. And then there's also the instincts with our nervous system. You know, we touch heat or sharp objects, and our first instinct sent to our brain in literal nanoseconds is to pull away our hand. You ever notice you put your hand on something that's burning and you pull away in literal seconds? You're pulling away like pretty much the exact moment you felt it, because your body has that insane kind of reaction time. And normally it doesn't, you know. Sometimes you can something like games where it's not a life or death situation, you don't have that kind of quick reaction time to it. But when it does fall down to, oh, if I do not move my finger this second, I will burn or chop it off, you know, in that case, then you have the nanosecond reaction time. Because that's what we talk about. It's so fast you couldn't even time it. This is nanoseconds, your nervous system. And your nervous system is one of many systems, like I say. The human body is an intricate system with multiple different things all working together simultaneously, all with like, you know, sequences they're going through in seconds to ensure that every living moment you can breathe and move and basically just live. Yeah, unfortunately for Troll Radio isn't giving us any music right now, given that the music is turned off and all that. So let's be speaking with these fools and destroying them at some Skystars. I almost feel sorry for the absolute obliteration that Pot Roast is about to endure. Almost, anyway, so let us begin! And what do we have here? The first round, the first of, I would say, many, but that would be completely false because we're going to absolutely obliterate this guy. With ease, he's already down to 5, he doesn't stand a chance. Shrednut, bro, you're so, like, dead. It's embarrassing how dead you are. We're going to take down that stone, and then, like, we're going to take him down with, like, my Chonky Mage. Yeah. Anyway, 4th round. What will, I would say what would hopefully be the final round, but not yet. This next round, hopefully, will be, or at least the round after that. Boy, this guy is surviving longer than I expected. Made it through 6 rounds against me. That is an accomplishment. Anyway, just like that, I have at long last defeated Pot Roast. We took our sweet merry time, but what's important is that in the end, we got there. Let's go on ahead and grab ourselves some gold and a winged sapphire. Fantastic. It has been found. This is normally the moment where I'd also obviously access the fire elemental gate, but I haven't seeked out the soul of any fire trap masters in order to do so, and it is big sad. Here at the command kitchen. I don't know why I said it that way and why my voice cracked, but here we are. Let's do this thing. One shot in a ship up a track with gusto on hard difficulty. I'm hoping that doing all of that isn't asking for too much, but one can only hope. I'm sure we're about to find out whether my hopes and dreams are going to be in vain or whatnot. I would much prefer that form of being served, bro, but unfortunately that is not what he's on about. And it's rather unfortunate that. Fine then, bring it on. Yeah, he's going down, baby. Ouch, I gotta hit less of those. I think that would be good. Luckily, that's what I have orange slices for. We're back to full health, which is fantastic. And my boomerang is returning to me and dealing an extra wave of damage, which is also fantastic. Yeah, get wrecked, sonny boy. Unfortunately, Gusto's boomerang doesn't work for similarly to Dinorangus, and the fact that it doesn't pick up food and bring it back to you, but you can suck it in and stuff. Anyway, let's burp that back out and have myself some extra maneuverability to avoid these lasers with. I almost jumped that with some terrible timing. Luckily for me, as per normal, almost doesn't quite count now, does it? Okay, over laser we go, and over we go, over we go, and over we go some more, yeah. Oh, shout. There you go. We're doing this nice and well, we are. Boom, boomerang, boom, boomerang, and boom, boomerang some more. Watch out for all that. I do remember after the Thunderbolt fight, one very nice commenter left me an entire essay on how to do better at this fight. A lot of the stuff they said did go completely over my head, I will be honest, but it was certainly a useful comment. No doubt you're seeing it displayed on screen before you, so definitely be sure to absorb the advice right there. People play this game even more religiously than me, and they really know what they're talking about. I love the fact though that people play this game enough to acquire all sorts of different strategies, especially when it comes to speedrunning and stuff. Like the any percent run of this game, where obviously you can pull off a double jump glitch, it gets absolutely insane. It's why this game is so much more unique and by extent so much more better than other Skylanders games. You guys might think glitches are bad. They are bad when they make you have to replay Time Town again and again and again and again, but they're just the worstest most example. Everything else in this game is absolutely fine, glitch orientated. Most of the time it's just animation stuff, you know, it's not normally game breaking. You just got to remember that when you're playing as Blackout to not even think about the triangle button, let alone actually press it. Or for left bumper for that matter, because obviously you can do bumper attacks in this game. Yeah, that was me using the right bumper, just making sure that right bumper is a secondary attack, which it is. Yeah, right bumper secondary attack, left bumper tertiary. Characters like Drill Sergeant and characters where obviously you need to push 2 buttons simultaneously, like Hothead to initiate a Soul Gem, those bumpers are really useful. Because it's easier to press square and R1 together than it is to press square and circle together, much easier. And it's also much easier to press L1 and attacks rather than triangle and attacks, though I have gotten used to using triangle and circle now because of superchargers and imaginators annoyingly getting rid of the bumper buttons as attacks. Why did they do that? That was so annoying. It was perfect the way it was. Superchargers, they also completely changed up the control scheme for the Wii controllers again. Like, say, B is jump, even though in Swap Force it was A. And then in Trap Team, A was still the jump, B was the primary attack, and C and Z, they swapped over for secondary and tertiary attacks for them from Trap Team to from Swap Force to Trap Team even, where C was secondary and Z was tertiary. Now all of a sudden Z became secondary and C was tertiary. And then in Superchargers, they made B the jump button, A the primary attack button, and then C and Z once again were your secondary and tertiary attacks. Why couldn't they remain consistent? Every single Wii game changed up the control scheme from the game before it, with the exception of Giants, which remained the same. That's why Giants got it right. And I'm obviously talking about playing as the Wii Remote Nunchuck in Skylanders Superchargers Wii U. Superchargers Wii is obviously Superchargers Racing, so obviously that didn't have any combat whatsoever, so that control scheme was entirely different, because the gameplay was also entirely different. That being said, I just kind of waltzed over the fact that we obliterated this boss fight. We didn't just one-shot him on hard mode. We annihilated him to the extent where I almost feel sorry. Wow! I'm proud of me. I think I deserve a pat back that one. That was well done, as all stakes should be. So now we head back to the academy, as we have more necessary deeps to skip over, and we even have a present too. How very generous indeed. So yeah, let's be opening that on up. And what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? We got a hat, which is apparently a bit of a breeze. Also, that is known as a mini, the rarest mini of this game. Who would have known that a tiny piece of plastic could have reached the heights of 75 pounds and upwards? Anyway, what we want to do here is we want to trap Chef Pepperjack, because his villain quest is coming up for level 6. And then we also want to have a tech trap at the ready for Brawlers. After we capture him, we've got to make sure we trap him for his upcoming villain quest in the 6th chapter as well. So let's speak with Callie, and then join the loading screen. I'll take Chef Pepperjack out of the portal. Like right now, for instance. And as for time, we are currently looking at 24 minutes now that we've skipped over all the unnecessary deep stew and all that. Well, hey, it's wallop time! Boy, have I been looking forward to having me some wallop time. Wallop time is very much the same as some fun time, and I love me some fun time. Yeah. Anyway, those chompy fools, they gotta be going down, man. They gotta be going down. I pound it, and I pound it some more with my melee drobotness. Yeah, baby. Anyway, here comes Boris himself. He's gonna stand little to no chance. Not against the might of Melee Drobot anyway. I should really nickname this guy as Melee Drobot because that would be a very accurate nickname, as that's essentially what he is. I'm attacking him before he even has a chance to get on land over here. Boom! Get wrecked. A measly Boris against the might of my wallop. He never stood a chance. And now, it's time to trap him. Doing so with the Tech Tiki, a trap which they showcased as part of one of the showcases for this game. After they defeated a Shrednaught, they trapped him using the Tech Tiki. Obviously, this was one of the scopes that they confirmed from the get-go, given that you got a Water Tiki in the starter pack. So they wanted to use the Tech Tiki as a way to show you that, first of all, you get the same scopes amongst different elements, and second of all, they didn't want to confirm a different sculpt with a Tech Trap. So why not just keep it with a Tiki Trap, which was already confirmed via the fact that there was one of this sculpt in the starter pack. Yeah, in other words, it was a well planned out showcase, that's for sure. Even though the Tech Tiki Trap was actually one of the last ones I released, I believe, and I had a hard time finding it. It was the last Tech Trap I ever got. Well, technically joint last. I got 4 for Tech Traps, and then I got to the point where I was only missing, what was it, the Tiki and the Hand. I went to my local market one day, and by some miracle, one pre-owned seller had them both, and it was 2 for £1.50, so I got the last 2 Tech Traps I needed for £1.50, and I had it in pennies, which the, marketeer was kind enough to accept. So what a bargain that turned out to be, and I managed to get rid of all my pennies. It was truly what you'd call a big win. Speaking of big wins, we seeked out the soul of an upstar. Yeah, that's a freaking go. He's all hard-boiled like, but let's be previewing him for good measure. Yeah, this guy looks like he could go for a hard-boil, alright. Just as you thought he couldn't get any better, you bring out his hard-boiledness and he gets even more overpowered. If there ever is an overpowered Trapmaster, then that is one of them. So as Lobstar continues to fade into our top PNG in the top right hand corner, that is, let's grab this key. And then we can head to the Undead Zone and grab the other, where Bunnybone can finally get the spotlight. And then we'll go to the villain section, complete it with Blackout, and call it a day there, as I want to have Blackout enough screen time to justify him obviously being in the thumbnail here. And say, if we played him a lot in Shift Zeppelin, and we're going to play him some more here, that definitely justifies his inclusion in the thumbnail. Here I am realising I accidentally swapped out for him rather than Funnybone, which is of the undead element. I think I was getting a little bit too hasty. So what we're going to do is we're going to avoid all combat. I mean, we have to go back here anyway, and I'm not in a rush to get Mastermind's Mastermind's villain quest even, so we don't need to capture him this time around. So we'll just bypass the combat. That way, for Undead Zone, this is kind of nullified. It doesn't really matter when we don't swap out for Skylanders corresponding to a certain element if there is no combat involved. So yeah, let's just begin with this, grab the key, and then we can just get straight out of here because it's a perfectly bypassable boss fight is what it is. That's hastiness getting the best of me for you. But now I can 1000% justify Blackout being in the thumbnail. And Blackout makes for a pretty solid thumbnail. Anyway, we can take out both these guys with Shepherd of Jack's Fireball ability. No! No more Buzzer Beak, anything with Buzzer Beak. Now we're going to defeat this guy, and he's going to have -4. Obviously that doesn't show up in the game, but that's basically what he had. We didn't just beat that guy. We annihilated him. It's like Chef Pepper Shack all over again. But now we're grabbing ourselves some experience. We are, and we're not even going to be listening to the story scroll. Oh no, 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 no. Anyway, back in here we go. Yeah. And we're going to avoid the combat like I said we would, even though we got chomped along the way. So if anything, this has made it more troublesome for Blackout right now, because he's going into a villain zone with even more damage. And who knows, that 52 damage could be the difference between living this and not living this. So yeah, perhaps I shot myself in my own foot by doing it this way. Anyway, without further ado, villain zone. This time I am in my element. By that I mean no element whatsoever. This is where the light and dark characters get to shine for once. Boom, boom, shake the room, yeah. Yeah, let's grab all this gold. Besides, I feel like whenever the element pops up, it's like when they plan to have one of the light or dark elements pop up anyway. But obviously when they made those mystery elements in the end, they decided not to have like mystery elements stronger in this zone. So instead they just decided to cut those, make the villain stronger instead. And only have one zone in the entire game where light is stronger, and that is the Sunspring Spire. For some reason, they didn't even bother doing the same for the Midnight Museum. Yeah, get out of here, suckers. Wow, now that was some annihilation right there. So let's hit the button, and then we're going to be concluding the episode. So yeah, without further ado, I will be rolling that outro. With that being said and done, this video is coming to an end, and I want to thank you all so much for watching. By merely clicking on this video, you've shown support and helped it garner recognition so it can reach many other viewers here on YouTube. I'd love to see you take the extra step and leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Also be sure to comment below and push that subscribe button whilst you're down there. By clicking elsewhere on screen, you can either check out a video that's specifically picked out for you, or you can check out the rest of the playlist for a series you just watched. Before ending off, I'd like to thank all of my Blazing Knights and Scorching Dragons whose support helped make these videos possible. I'll be seeing you in the next video, and until the moment arises, peace!